Ow. I think a bee just stung me. Stupid bee. No! David, stop! Before you do something you'll regret later. Wait, what? You're talking about the bee? Why would I regret stepping on a bee? That bee is essential to her hive. If she dies, you're killing more than just her. All the bees that are dependent on her honey will die, and some of the food you eat won't exist without her. Wait, she's a girl? And she has a family back home? What type of food are we talking about? Would chocolate go away? Mallory, these are important questions. Not exactly, but she contributes to the health of the hive, and bees are a bigger part of your life than you realize. They pollinate the food that you eat, produce nutrients for the surrounding ecosystem, and basically keep all the other creatures in the habitat healthy and fed. When the bee lays eggs, either she is just making the rounds, or she is leaving the hive with a swarm and building up a cushion of new workers for the hive that will start later. The baby that's inside is either a male or a female, depending on whether or not it was fertilized. After 16 to 32 days, they emerge, and that's when things start to go crazy. If you were a run-of-the-mill worker bee, you stay in your capsule for 21 days, where you emerge to a young bee nurse shoving royal jelly at you. Your diet is based on what class you're in, so if you're a worker or a drone, you're fed royal jelly, a white, milky substance produced by the nurse bees, rich with nutrients for developing bees for the first couple of days. Then your diet switches to bee bread, or a fermented type of pollen. Worker bees only last a couple of weeks, but they use that time extremely well. After they emerge from their capsule-like cells, the young female bees are put on nurse duty to tend to the new bees and feed them their food. After their training period, they are transferred to other jobs in the hive, such as making honeycombs out of the wax that forms on the underside of their bellies, cooling off the inside of the hive by flapping their wings, vibrating their bodies to heat up the hive in the winter, defending the hive from intruders. Fun fact, do you know a Japanese honeybee can kill a wasp by vibrating their bodies together and cooking the wasp's brain? The bees can go to 117 degrees Fahrenheit, about a degree less than what they can handle, but higher than the wasp can grow. Well, that's crazy. I knew anime was intense, but Kokugai? That's harsh. They're not all that bad. I mean, the wasp wasn't just stopping in, it was probably there for a snack. What? Bees have McDonald's? That poor guy was just going in for some chicken nuggets and the bees just swarm him. No, I mean the wasp was trying to eat the honeybees and the workers just had to defend themselves. Oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense than Mickey D's in the hives. Okay, what would they sell? Honey Macs? Waxy Nuggets? Just stop. Anyway, once the bees have been alive for a couple of days, they move out onto the real job, foraging for food. Do you know that an average bee can fly 1.25 miles a day and take 12 to 15 trips from the hive? That'd be like running nonstop all day. And when she has found a good source of nectar, she will fly all the way back to the hive and explain the precise information to the other bees through a language of dance steps. Bees communicate through a series of dances, such as the waggle dance and round dance. Based on the distance of the sun and the direction of the flower to the hive, a worker can describe where to find the food source before heading out with more help. Worker bees also make up a majority of the hive, bringing in nectar and collecting pollen. They're the ones that you see flying around, visiting flowers, and they're the ones that can sting you. It may hurt, but when a bee stings you, their stinger, which is barbed as opposed to the wasp's smoothed one, gets pulled out. Their stinger is also attached to all their important organs, so when they sting you, they pull out their guts in the process. A bee will only sting you if they feel like you are threatening the hive, so you probably deserve that red belt. Just think, you could have avoided a bee sting and kept the bee alive if you had not pestered the hive, you bee killer. Drones pretty much follow the same life pattern of workers, hatching and eating habits. Do you know that drones actually don't have dads, but they do have a granddad? Drones are just the unfertilized eggs that the queen makes, so they don't have a dad, but the queen did, so they have a granddad. Wait. Hold up, are you saying the little bee boys can never bring their dads to school for Father's Day? Yes, for multiple reasons. Drones don't actually last that long in the hive. Either they die during the queen's mating flight, or the workers kick them out of the hive at the end of the summer or in early autumn. After that, they're just another mouth to feed in the cold of winter. Oh, I'm glad I'm not a drone. Yeah, me too. Aw, did you just say... Moving on, did you know that drones are in the cells the longest, averaging 24 days before they make their way out? They tend to be bigger than the worker bees, but stockier than the queen. One of their main characteristics are the massively huge eyes, and many beekeepers keep track of their drones by their distinguishing facial features. Baby drones are also the most common victims to mites, though, because their capsules take longer to be capped and longer to open up. There are a couple of ways for drones to die here, isn't there? Tough love, I guess? Well, maybe we can cheer you up with some more social hierarchy. The crowning jewel of any hive, the queen bee. Wait, before we go, can I tell you a joke? Sure. Who were all the honeybees' favorite singer? I don't know. Who? Beyonce! Wait, what? You know why? Because she was queen bee. Facepalm. Okay, Beyonce jokes aside, the queen is arguably the most important bee in the whole hive. She's the one who's letting the new workers, making decisions for the good of the hive, and the one that other bees look up to. In reality, there isn't just one chosen queen, and the whole hive isn't dependent on that one female's survival. More than one queen is raised at a time, and when they hatch, it turns into Hunger Games when the girls fight for dominance. Eventually, one queen is chosen, though, and the hive takes her to the door of the hive so she can fly out to the waiting cloud of drones. She flies up, and the mating flight begins, where she will get the sperm samples for the rest of the hive. She will only mate with about 20 drones, but she will gather all of the sperm she needs to produce for the hive for her entire life. She then flies back to the hive and she starts laying eggs for future generations. Queen bees are also normally larger than others with thicker abdomens and bigger structure. She has her build thanks to the royal honey which she has been fed since childhood. Does royal honey have mystical powers or something? Can the other bees really grow that big too? Why is the queen the only one with royal jelly? Royal jelly doesn't actually affect the queen. It's what she's not fed that puts her above the rest. All bees are fed royal jelly when they are hatched, but workers and drones are switched to a thing called bee bread, basically fermented pollen. A queen has never been exposed to that though, so she can continue to grow at that rate while her sisters are stunted. Whoa. Yeah, pretty much. Next up, the process of making honey. My favorite part. There is an idea that honey is basically just bee barf, but that's not true. Kind of. You see, the bee is made up of a hard outside shell covered in wax, and inside organs like the glossia, pharynx, brain, salivary gland, aurea, wing muscles, air sacs, honey stomach, chambers of dorsal vessel, respiratory muscle, stomach, and small intestines, the rectum, sting, poison sac, and nerve ganglia. The honey stomach, or crop, is where she stores the nectar from the flowers until she can get back to the hive. While she travels, the nectar sloshes around in her crop and mixes with the enzymes in the lining, turning the liquid into a more shelf-stable substance. When she arrives to the hive, she regurgitates the fluid into the mouth of another worker until it makes its way into a honeycomb, where it is capped off with beeswax and preserved. Actually, did you know that a bee can only make around 1/12 of a teaspoon of honey in her lifetime, and it takes 2 million flowers and 55 million miles to make 1 pound of honey? The little honey bears that you buy in grocery stores probably took 22,070 trips to different flowers. Crazy, huh? Isn't raw honey, really good for you? Yeah, fresh honey under the age of 6 months can have antibacterial properties, improve digestion, relieve nausea, be an exfoliator, improve diabetes, lower cholesterol, improve circulation, antioxidant support, restore sleep, prebiotic support, improve allergies, lose weight, moisturize, hair mask, eczema relief, reduce inflammation, heal wounds, shampoo, and relieve a sore throat and cough. Bees are essential to many plants' germination, such as almonds, cashews, onions, celery, cabbage, and even potatoes. In fact, bees are essential to tomatoes' germination process. Tomato flowers can only release their pollen at a certain vibration, which is attained by bees' flight pattern. So think about it. Without bees, you wouldn't have spaghetti sauce, or ketchup, or tomato juice. Actually, we might not want bees anymore. I'm kidding. Okay, so that was a lot more information than I needed, but it was so cool. What can I do to help these little bees? I mean, I saw on BuzzFeed that bees are kind of disappearing. Is that natural? Well, there are a few things that are contributing to the bees' disappearance. Things like commercial pesticides in agricultural are harming the bees. And things that scientists don't even know about yet, like shaking bee syndrome, which can decimate a whole hive in the matter of a month, are wiping out bees across the nation. But no, the baby bees, they're gonna die. Is there anything I can do? A 12-year-old boy with a phone. Come on, there has to be something I can do. Well, actually, you can do a lot of things. Like being responsible in your lawn control products and using gardening systems like compost can really attract the bees to your house. And planting flowers in spring. Not only does it make your lawn look gorgeous, but it gives awesome food sources for the bees who've been holding out all winter on limited food. And in the end, the bees aren't the only one affected. You can get a sweet reward for helping out too. Awesome! I'm gonna go buy some poster board and a lot of tomato plants. Bye! Wait, no, that's my credit card. See you later!